Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. Absolutely thrilled that we have these guys back on the airwaves again for another week. It is the GRIDRIVAL ESRA INDYCAR Series coming to you live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is one of those we've been looking forward to for, well, quite frankly, quite a while here. Atlanta is going to be absolutely wild. 1.5 miles of high-banked insanity. Show you the timing tower here as qualifications are already underway. Craig Forsyth going to be top of the charts, 24.90 seconds. J.W. Miller, we see coming on to pit lane, second quick thus far. How about Gary Corley coming to a stop down the back straightaway? James Watson coming across the start-finish line to conclude his run. 24.96 the time for James Watson. We mentioned Gary Corley. How about it? 24.92 seconds will be the lap time of record. Pick up a name that you're going to recognize from some of the other series here on NRN. This is A.J. Digby getting out onto the racetrack. Take a look here. We'll go on board with AJ as he's making his qualification run. Get to the double box here on board. On the right-hand side, you see the car out there on the left-hand side of your screen. Off of turn number 2. First lap in the books for AJ, and it's going to be a 25.38. He's going to need to pick things up here off of turn number 4. Checkered flag going to go in the air this time for AJ Digby. He's going to improve up to 10th, 24.96 seconds. The official lap time of record for AJ Digby. Richard Fletcher, TJ McMurray, Jeff Destino, Joseph Morales have not yet turned a lap. And right now we've got nobody out on the racetrack. And there you go. Qualifications have completed here. Means our lineups are set for tonight's race. Field getting ready to head out onto the grid, and let's take a look here. We'll get you our starting lineups here in just a moment. Starting on the front row tonight in the LMCgear.com, number 72, it will be Craig Forsyth with a lap time of 24.903 seconds. Do the quickie math here. Ooh, 216.841 miles per hour, the lap time of record for Craig Forsyth. Matt Wagner going to line up to his outside. He was saying in the pre-race he didn't want to be on the pole. I'm not sure second was where he wanted to be either, but we'll see. J.W. Miller and Ty Richter going to occupy row number 2. Gary Corley, Vic Aldrich on row 3. Jason Hand and Alec Coates on row number 4. Jim Brooks, A.J. Digby on row 5. Row 6, Eric Schaus and Noah Janinda. Row 7, James Watson and Connor Baldwin still haven't found a tenth of a second yet in this field. Got to go all the way back to 16th place before we find it. Alexander Ball going to start in the 15th position. Brandon Ishkanian, 1/10 of a second off the pole, starting in the 16th position tonight. Row number 9, Colin Johnston and Joseph Morales. Neither of Morales not setting a lap time. TJ McMurray and Richard Fletcher on row number 10. And all alone on row number 11 will be the 42 of Jeff Destino. Field going to make their way off of turn number 4. This is going to be pack racing action at its finest. Don't want to miss out. Thank you to everybody turning in on YouTube and Twitch. And as always, race fans, the start of the Ezra IndyCar Series is going to be all yours. Good Lord, these race cars sound like absolute monsters. Lap number 2 of 100. Hearing that we're going to see pit windows, quite frankly, a wide variety of them, anywhere from 25 to 40 laps. The big thing is you can't make it on one stop as we've got issues on the racetrack, and it is trouble early for Connor Baldwin. Trouble on the racetrack here at lap number 2. Let's get the replay squared up and take a look, see what happened. Looks like A.J. Digby and Noah Janinda also going to be involved. Oh, yeah, 3 wide. Banging wheels. Wow. Car's airborne hard into the inside retaining wall. Connor Baldwin got a huge piece of that. Let's take a look and slow this one down here, see what happened. On the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay, 3 wide battle back in the pack. Baldwin down to the inside of the racetrack. Oh, man, what a tough break there. Innocent bystander taking out that car. James Watson had a fantastic look at that incident. Let's get you one more here, and let's get up to the roll bar cam here and take a look at things from James Watson's perspective. You'll see the car's beating and banging a little bit off of turn number 2. He's down to the inside, still only half throttle. Wow. That's gutsy trying to get through there. Trying to get back up on the racetrack, missed the sliding car of Connor Baldwin. But unfortunately, looks like James Watson going to have to come down pit lane. A.J. Digby, Noah Janinda also on the pit lane. Alec Coates, James Watson, Colin Johnston, Joseph Morales, all having to take stops, now working their way out of the pit lane. Early trouble in this one. Only 3.5, 4 seconds worth of time on pit lane. So the tough break here really is quite frankly for everybody who's watching at home as well, because this was setting up to be a pretty wild pack race, and it's still going to be. But now Craig Forsyth is going to restart this race from the outside lane, basically way up against the outside retaining wall. and it will be a single file restart. Maybe a little bit ill-advised to be trying to go 3 wide there early. This field will get the 1 to go signal this time by the start-finish line. Connor Baldwin just getting out of the pit lane now. He will be able to come around and stay on the lead lap, so we'll see how the car's going to handle. But there's Connor Baldwin. I'll tell you what, gut sack time there for that young man out of the state of Texas. Almost called it the Republic of Texas. Car looks pretty good. We'll see how up to pace he's going to be. Thus far, A.J. Digby also on his way out of the pit lane. We'll see. I don't believe he will be able to get his lap back. He may have to tag in here at the back of the field. After 2 minutes and 47 seconds in his pit box, Noah Janinda also making his way back out onto the racetrack. So everybody is still on the racetrack. Just maybe not necessarily with a shot to pick up a W here at Atlanta. Green flag goes back in the air. We're underway once again. It is a good restart for Craig Forsyth. Quite frankly, everybody going to be pretty well spaced out. Vic Aldrich working the high lane in turns 1 and 2. Can open the door for Jim Brooks. Running the dragon down the back straightaway is Craig Forsyth. He's trying to break the draft. I don't know that there's a whole lot of use in that at this point. Matt Wagner thus far holding on for the second position. This battle continues side by side between Aldrich and Brooks. Eric Schaus just back behind them. He was one of the cars that was getting involved. Oh, buddy. Hold on to it. Jim Brooks sliding way up to the outside safer barrier on the exit of turn number 2. Vic Aldrich now dropping through the field here pretty quickly. 25:13, the last lap time for Craig Forsyth. That is a new best lap of the race. And you can see the gap to the leaders up there, the interval to the race leader on the ticker at the top of your screen. Sounds like we may have somebody in the wall. Slide a little bit further back in the pack here. Pick up Alexander Ball, TJ McMurray. McMurray able to clear Ball off at turn number 4, just back behind Jeff Destino and Alec Coates going to be side by side into 1. Changes the calculations slightly here with that first pit stop that some of these drivers took. We're hearing some discussions in the pre-race that fuel mileage could be a factor. We'll see how that's all going to play out. Good racing deeper in the pack here. How about Connor Baldwin? That young man. Oh, we've got one going around down to the inside. That's Jeff Destino spinning to the inside of the racetrack. Very, very slow up on the bottom lane of the racetrack. He's going to spin it around. That will bring out the caution flag. Yellow is out for the second time today here as we work lap number 14. And it will be for Jeff Destino. We'll take a look here. Let's actually watch this one from the onboard. See if we can see what happened to Destino down on the inside. Just a little bit too much throttle, it sounded like there. Race leaders making their way down pit lane, including Craig Forsyth, Matt Wagner, J.W. Miller, Ty Richter, everybody in the top 10 with the exception of Gary Corley. Alec Coates staying on the racetrack, as is Connor Baldwin and Richard Fletcher. Corley and Fletcher have not stopped. Coates and Baldwin stopping at that lap 3 caution flag. So two distinct strategies here. One set of stops coming at lap 3, another coming at lap 15. Craig Forsyth will lead the parade off of the pit lane. These drivers probably pretty thankful they're getting to make these stops under yellow. The transitions of the banking here in Atlanta are incredibly difficult. Now we're going to see Richard Fletcher make his way onto the pit lane. So he will be heading toward the back here. But it will be Gary Corley who will lead the field back to green. Not a name we get to talk about a ton. Get you a little bit of a close-up here on that machine. New colors, the Arrow McLaren SP-esque colors. Well, okay, it is the Arrow McLaren SP. I guess technically now McLaren, but Gary Corley piloting that number 78. He will be the race leader as we go back to green here at lap number 17. Leaving a pretty good gap to the pace car here, but yeah, we can see the lights are out on the iRacing safety car, so it'll be green flag this next time by. Corley, Coates, Baldwin, Forsyth, and Miller. How about it? Fantastic run for Connor Baldwin to get back up inside the top 5 after that lap 1 incident. I guess lap 3 was the lap count there for the first yellow flag of the day. Again, leaving a big gap to the iRacing safety car. Once that safety car pulls in, it is entirely up to the lead driver as the control car to decide when they go. Just before the restart line is when Gary Corley decides it's go time, and we are back underway here at Atlanta. He'll have an early lead. Matt Wagner going to work on J.W. Miller through 3 and 4. Man, that was a big run on the outside of the racetrack there for Matt Wagner, and he'll keep that momentum wound up through 1 and 2. Baldwin all the way up to the safer barrier in 1 and 2, trying to make his way back towards the front of the field. He'll have the look inside of Alec Coates. Oh, buddy. He got it down onto the apron at the entrance of 3, using every bit of the racetrack. Baldwin not quite able to clear Coates. He'll take the toe down the backstretch this time. A little bit deeper in the field, TJ McMurray coming around Jason Hand. Matt Wagner has cleared J.W. Miller, and in fact, Ty Richter going to go to work here as well. Wonder if J.W. isn't running a little bit different fuel mapping than some of these other drivers. Richter able to pass on the outside. Eric Schaus also looks like he'll be able to get clear on the outside of the racetrack, at least maybe not this time by, but big draft down the front stretch. Got up tight into turn number 1. So the question of fuel economy will be coming into play here. Just kind of the way the stint lengths are going to work. Expecting pit stops anywhere from lap 27 to potentially lap 42. For some of these drivers who came in at lap 3, that includes Alec Coates and Connor Baldwin. Going to be anywhere from 25 to 38-ish. With the 2 yellows, probably going to put them out to 40-some laps. May not be the worst strategy call here for Gary Corley. Now, he's not going to be able to save any fuel at the front of the field. As this is the tightest battle we have on the racetrack right now. Let's pull up the roll bar cam and go on board here with J.W. Miller. Connor Baldwin once again going to work on Alec Coates. This is the battle for second. Craig Forsyth is right there hanging out as well, enjoying every bit of tow he's going to be able to get from these two. Baldwin easily able to clear Coates. It's funny, we've talked with Connor in the past, and he said that fuel strategy is not really his game. It's kind of put it in map 1 and go all out here. And you can see he's opening up a gap on Alec Coates. So Mr. Giddy Up and Go is doing just that, opening up a quarter of a second gap over Alec Coates. Question now becomes, when does Gary Corley have to stop? It's going to be within the next 10 laps or so, I would think. Well, maybe not with the cautions. Probably get out to lap 42, maybe lap 45. Slide back in the pack here. Let's pick up Alex Ball and James Watson. Ball in the orange and white machine. Watson in the, we'll say, expressive colors of Team Watson Racing. That day-glow yellow, green, and pink machine. That was the closest battle on the racetrack. Right now, everybody is separated by, with the exception of these two, separated by at least a quarter of a second, if not a third or more of a second. We mentioned this is the tightest battle. Well, maybe not. Let's move up. Pick up Eric Schaus and Ty Richter as they're going to battle through 3 and 4. This is really starting to feel like a race where you're going to have to be setting up the pass 2, 3, 4 laps ahead of when you're actually going to attempt it and get it clear. And the pass itself may take an entire lap. Alex Ball able to get cleanly around James Watson. Craig Forsyth closing in a little bit on Alec Coates for the 3rd position, but there you see both of the battles. Coates and Forsyth, along with Richter and Schaus. These guys are side by side, so we'll stay with this fight for the time being. After a couple of early yellows, very quickly getting things back on track here. If we stay green, you can expect the cars that stopped at lap 15 to have to come in anywhere from lap 39 to lap 54. So starting to get towards the opening of their window. It's Craig Forsyth going to have Matt Wagner in the Area 51 machine. Trouble for Jeff Destino on the racetrack. Let's see what we got here. Oh, man. Destino bends it hard into the tires. And caution is out. Yellow flag on the racetrack. This is exactly the caution flag that Gary Corley, Connor Baldwin, all those guys wanted to see. Man alive, that car just so twitchy tonight for Jeff Destino. A little bit of a hang time there. Slides it down. Oh, just barely kissed the tire barriers down to the inside, but trying to get backed out on the racetrack is what's going to have the caution flag come out here. Because we're going to have Gary Corley picking up the iRacing safety car. And we should see pit lane open this time. And yeah, we are going to see just about everybody, in fact, everybody amongst the leaders making their way down pit lane. How about everybody? Well, no, maybe not. Colin Johnston going to stay out on the racetrack. That's fantastic. He stopped at lap number 16. You wonder if he's getting close to a point in the race where he can make it the rest of the way on fuel. Oh, looked like one of the cars, the 33, overshooting his box. That was Ty Richter. Getting back out onto the racetrack, it's going to be Connor Baldwin winning the race off pit lane ahead of Gary Corley, Matt Wagner, and Alec Coates. Show you the running order here of where your favorite driver is. And you will see at the bottom half of the field will cycle through there at the bottom of your screen. See, we can't sneak a word in here with Connor Baldwin as we work under the caution flag. Connor, I tell you what, bud, that was probably about the best caution you were hoping to see here.
Yeah, that all worked out pretty well. When it first came out, I was really not happy with it because I didn't think everyone was going to pit. But now that I see that everyone pit and I got out ahead of Gary, who was leading at the time, I am very happy with that.
Yeah, the car seems to be handling okay. It looked like pretty substantial damage that we were seeing on the left rear of the car after the early incident. How has the handling been?
Oh, it's great. We got a fast repair, so I was able to somehow keep the lead lap, get the fast repair, get the car all fixed, and it has just been absolutely flying now, especially in the dirty air.
Well, congratulations on a nice recovery thus far, and hopefully we'll get to talking to you at the end of this one.
Thank you. Hopefully see you here in about 60 laps.
There you go. That's Connor Baldwin. I forgot about the quick repair, but yeah, he sounded pretty darn thrilled there. Let's see if we can find... Yes, we do have available our race leader tonight, Colin Johnston. Colin, interesting strategy call here, bud. What's the thought process, and do you think you can make it on one more stop from here?
Yeah, so the last pit stops, I went in about, lap 17 or so, 16, and I got a little over half a gallon, or half a tank here, so I think I can make it on one more stop, but I'm more just trying to play strategy for some clean air.
It sounds like that's going to be about the most important thing you can have here tonight is clean air and running at the front.
Yeah, and how qualifying went, I was trapped back in, 16, 17, 19th the whole race, so I figured try something different.
All right, bud. Well, good luck the rest of the way here. Hopefully we're talking to you again at the end of this thing.
Yep, hopefully.
So there you go. There's Colin Johnston. Little bit of a surprise there in the strategy call, but I guess not the worst call you could make, especially if clean air is going to be as key as it is. I want to thank you that are tuned in on YouTube and on Twitch. Give us a shout. Try to make this a little bit of a conversation here. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to nobody. Or at least we try to be interactive with you all. So we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. It will be Connor Baldwin running second to Colin Johnston, your new race leader. Is that a Cleveland Cavaliers paint scheme on the side of your race leader? I guess we'll find out in a minute, but first, y'all at home, you go ahead and crank it up. Aggressive move early on the restart has Connor Baldwin around Colin Johnston. He picks up the race lead. Gary Corley going to come screaming past as well. How about Matt Wagner wanting a piece of the action? He's around the high side of Johnston in 1 and 2. Baldwin setting a new fastest lap of the race, 25.12 seconds. He said that 21 machine was a racehorse. Certainly looks like it is at this point. Craig Forsyth coming around Colin Johnston. Eric Schaus going to get a huge tow into 1 and 2. Johnston tries to slide up the racetrack. It's just ahead. Matt Wagner going to work on Gary Corley. Several good battles inside the top 5. Wagner easily able to clear down to the inside of the racetrack. Going to put Matt Wagner back up to the 2nd position, and he's going to have a ways to go to hunt down Connor Baldwin. 1 1/4 seconds is the gap right now. Big time battle back in the pack here. This is Brandon Ishkanian, Alec Coates, TJ McMurray, and AJ Digby. Digby looking to the inside of McMurray into 3. Looks like Alec Coates may have been the blinking car offender there. Pretty quickly getting up on the halfway point here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Immediately following this race tonight at 10:15 in the East, it will be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship from the streets of Long Beach. J.W. Miller coming around Colin Johnston. Cullen falling back through the field, but remember, he's hitting a fuel number. So you can't necessarily say the car isn't fast, whatever. He still has a number he has to hit if he wants to make this a one-stop race to the end of this thing. As it stands right now, I don't think your leaders can make it. They stopped at lap number 38. Yeah, they're going to have to make, well, at least one more stop. If they make the short end of it, it is going to take them right to lap 100, which then means you got nothing in the reserves for a green-white checker. If you can go to 77, then you can absolutely make it to the end of the show. But it's going to be tight on fuel here. Whereas Colin Johnston stopped at lap number 16. He's, with the caution that we had, he's going to be able to go to 57, maybe 59 laps. So he's not far from having to stop. So we pick up the battle between Craig Forsyth and Eric Schaus off of turn number 2. The gap up to 1.6 seconds from Connor Baldwin to Matt Wagner. So clean air is absolutely key to performance here tonight. And again, not a huge surprise there. You can hear the bottoms of these race cars scraping along the asphalt. Move a little bit back in the pack here. Pick up Richard Fletcher, Joseph Morales, and Alec Coates. Among the tightest battles on the racetrack. Another good one shaping up right now. A.J. Digby going to have T.J. McMurray closing in pretty quickly here, as this fight makes its way through turns 1 and 2. I am quite frankly pretty shocked that we're not seeing more pack racing here. These cars are no lift, full throttle all the way around the Atlanta Motor Speedway. However, the dirty air wash that comes off these cars can be pretty intense as well. Eric Schaus once again going to get the toe off of 4. He'll look inside of Craig Forsyth. Just nothing there to complete the pass. Forsyth going to be able to hold on to the spot. And we are starting to get close to the fuel window opening here. Every lap you make it past lap 62 puts you another lap to the better in terms of possible green, white, checkered finishes. Ooh, tight move up on the outside of the racetrack. Down the front straightaway, Schaus going to try to get around the outside. And that may be how the pass is going to work. It will. Fantastic pass there. And they're not all that far behind Gary Corley at this point either. Corley running about 0.8 of a second ahead. Connor Baldwin absolutely checking out on this field right now. Getting very close to Alexander Ball to put him 1 lap down. Thus far, only Jeff Destino and Noah Janinda being scored 1 lap in arrears. Noah out of the race. Destino 6 laps behind your race leader. And you just saw James Watson run through the frame as well. I'm shocked at where Watson is running right now. Unless he's trying to hit the fuel number. If he's trying to hit the number, then that changes things in a pretty big way here. But we'll see when Connor Baldwin is going to elect to come into the pits. Pick up J.W. Miller and Ty Richter. This is a close fight. Call it about 1/3 of a second separating these two, at least the closest battle on the racetrack. Really seems like the key is if you can run your car in that line that we just saw Ty Richter in, about 1/2 to 3/4 of a car width off the bottom of the racetrack, you can really force your attacking opponent to use the inside lane, and you're just giving up too much in the way of momentum running down the inside lane like that. Colin Johnston on pit lane. He will be the first of the cars to make what could be the final stop. It'll be a 35-lap stint. I think he's not that far off. It would be an absolutely monster undercut for Colin Johnston, stopping at lap number 63. Well, his lap 63. And with how quickly you're turning laps here, time on pit lane for Colin Johnston, 39.92 seconds. Going to equate to almost 2 full laps you're going to go down making a pit stop, about a lap and a half. Last thing Cullen needs right now is for the caution flag to come out. Alec Coates making his way in for service. Caution flag right now is going to trap you 2 laps down. You need the cycle to run if you're going to try the undercut. But at this point, these final stops will have everybody good to the end on fuel. J.W. Miller finally able to come around. Ty Richter, as we see Craig Forsyth hitting pit lane. We'll cover the stop here for Forsyth. The first of your kind of top 5 cars making what will be their final pit stop of the evening. Forsyth won the pole, takes pit spot number 1. Car up on the jack's going to be down here momentarily. It'll be 4 fresh Firestone Firehawks and a full tank of Speedway Racing fuel going into the number 72. TJ McMurray also on pit lane now. McMurray pitting from a little bit towards the back of the pack, sitting right at the start-finish line. Ty Richter making his way down pit lane. Clean stop there for TJ McMurray. If you can make it to lap 75, then it turns into a scenario where you could probably run map 1 the rest of the race and really push the car. Richter hitting the marks cleanly this time after the miscue. Last time he was on pit road. Down and away, 8.75 seconds the time of the stop for Ty Richter. Joseph Morales making his way in. Target throwback colors on the side of that 61 machine. Morales able to hit his marks. Cleanly down and away, 9 seconds even the time of the stop for Joseph Morales. So we'll pick up race leader Connor Baldwin. Still trying to track down Alexander Ball. But he's sitting in the draft. Nice, clean, tucked up, no incentive to try making a big move here on Ball. Matt Wagner on pit lane. Second place runner at the time of the stop, Matt Wagner, coming in for his final service of the night here at lap number 74. Unless they can only go 25 laps. Let's see. Wagner stopped at 38. Stopping at lap 74. Yeah, that was a 36-lap stint, so all of your leaders. Oh, and Wagner's going to spin! Wagner spins, puts it in the inside safer barrier coming off of pit road. Huge mistake from Matt Wagner. Very uncharacteristic. That car will be incredibly difficult to turn, but he's going to have to try to nurse that thing all the way back around to pit lane. That is race over for Matt Wagner. Huge unforced error coming out of the pits. And Wagner's going to be way at the back of the pack. Oh, man, we've got more trouble on pit lane. That looks to be Jeff Destino. Eric Schaus coming out cleanly, as is J.W. Miller. They'll drag race to the line at the end of pit road, down to 24 laps to go. Brandon Ishkanian also on pit lane. He's making his way out. James Watson now in, as is race leader Connor Baldwin. Hit the marks cleanly, and this is Baldwin's race to lose. He had a 2-second lead on Matt Wagner when Wagner came in for the pit stops. The lead was over 4 seconds on Gary Corley. James Watson stopped just ahead. He will get down and away. Baldwin completing his service 8.17 seconds on the time of the stop. Baldwin able to get cleanly back on the racetrack. Now the question be, we're going to see him right now. Race leader Gary Corley making his way down pit lane. Alexander Ball coming in as well just ahead. Ball pitting out of the 5th position. He had run towards the tail end of the field all night, but able to stretch the fuel run. It's going to shorten the time of the final stop as well if you don't have to take a full tank of fuel. Eric Schaus setting a new fastest lap of the race last time by at 25.09. But Schaus going to be behind just about everybody here. A.J. Digby staying out on the racetrack. Pick up Connor Baldwin and Craig Forsyth. This is the effective battle for the race lead. They'll come around to take the top spot next time by from, or second position from Jim Brooks. Just waiting on A.J. Digby to make his final stop. However, if the caution comes out. And Gary Corley has an issue. Trouble for Gary Corley on the racetrack as well. Schaus setting a new fastest lap of the race again, 25 flat. These are qualifying speeds we're seeing out of these guys right now. Corley has an issue, has to jump to the pits. Take a look at the replay, see what happened to Gary Corley. Man, same deal as Matt Wagner. A little bit too much throttle. Spins the car out. Oh, man, he got it up onto the racing surface as well. He very quickly takes the tow. Race leader A.J. Digby is in, and the caution is out. Caution on the speedway. With A.J. Digby on pit lane. Same deal. Jim Brooks trying to get off of pit lane. Touches that banking just a little bit. Slides it up onto the racetrack. And that's enough to bring out the caution flag. The question now is, where does A.J. Digby slot in? I think, well, let's see here. I think it's telling A.J. Digby to pass, well, maybe not. Let's say, is it telling him to pass the entire field? It is not telling Digby to pass everybody. However, what we are going to see are bucketfuls of waiver rounds. What a call by A.J. Digby. And unfortunately, we don't have him here to talk to in the Discord. What a strategy call by A.J. Digby. Going to put him at the head of the field for the restart with 17 laps to go. Stayed out hoping to see the caution, and he got it. And now I think we may have some confusion here with the iRacing safety car. Connor Baldwin ahead of the safety car at this point. Craig Forsyth staying behind the safety car. We'll see here. I would think they're going to get the wave around. We're still going to have one to go. Or more than one to go. Lights are still on the safety car, so let's see if we can check in here with Connor Baldwin real quick. I'll tell you what, Connor, fantastic run to get back to the front, and then the caution bites you a little bit. What is iRacing telling you to do right now?
So currently it has AJ Digby as the leader, which would have put me the first car a lap down. So honestly, I've got no clue what's going on. I'm going to be honest. I think AJ Digby's the leader. I'm in second place. And then they're going to wave the rest of the cars around here.
Insane. All right, buddy. Good luck here over the last handful of laps.
Thank you.
Unreal. What a strategy call by AJ Digby. We'll see when the lights go out. So it sounds like Baldwin was the lucky dog. Yeah, there's the wave around. So this is going to put AJ Digby back to the head of the field. However, everybody will be on the same lap as Digby. Basically, if he had stayed out one lap longer, he would have had 2 laps on the field and been able to pit under caution. So here it is. AJ Digby is your race leader. Connor Baldwin is going to run second. Third car in line is Jim Brooks. The first car 1 lap down. And then everybody else is going to get caught back up, and you hope they don't wad anything up here. Wow, what a strategy call from AJ Digby. We're going to see the pace car pull in. It'll be Digby's call on when the field is going to go. He jumps on the loud pedal. Good start there for Connor Baldwin. Baldwin thought about trying to get to the outside before they even got to turn 1. 14 to go. Digby holds the inside lane. Baldwin trying to get to the outside off of 2. Brooks going to tuck down to the inside. He's going to go with Digby. Forsyth to the outside. Forsyth now going to be battling with Brooks for second. Well, no, Brooks is a lap down. This is the fight for the race lead. Connor Baldwin to the outside. AJ Digby to the inside. Forsyth able to clear Jim Brooks. Now it's a matter of who are you going to go with. Oh, they got close. They may have touched. Maybe a little bit of netcode on the left front of Connor Baldwin, but he clears into 3. Here comes Eric Schaus. He's going to go to battle now with Craig Forsyth. This is the fight for third. You almost wonder if you're in Digby's position, do you not want to be the leader? We could see some tandem drafting start to set up here late in this race. And oh, what a save. Schaus to the inside of the racetrack. He's all over the place. What a save. Oh, and he's going to spin it into 1. 11 to go. Schaus spins down to the inside of the racetrack. His race will be over. Back to the head of the field. Forsyth lost the drafting partner. Digby's going to have to do all this work on his own. Ten laps remaining and 14 cars on the lead lap. That includes Eric Schaus, who went from a battle for third to now running slowly down the back straightaway, going 1 lap down to your race leaders. J.W. Miller having to contend with Ty Richter. Miller on the inside, Richter on the outside of the racetrack. Jim Brooks not going away quietly from Craig Forsyth's rear end either. He is tucked right up under the rear wing. The lead now over 1 second. About a half second for Connor Baldwin over A.J. Digby as we are down to 8 to go. Digby is just going to have to sit in his tire tracks right now, and quite frankly, he's losing time, losing about 1/10 or so per lap. Take a look at the time deltas. Baldwin, little bit faster, going from bottom to top there. Show it to you in the lap times. Digby has been slower all the way around. In fact, about 1/10 slower that time by. So down to 6 laps to go. Unless we get another yellow, this could be Connor Baldwin's race to lose at this point. J.W. Miller, Ty Richter continuing their fight. Everybody else ahead are not battles for position. That is Craig Forsyth with Jim Brooks, who is being scored a lap down. Eric Schaus also a lap down. Good fight developing back here. TJ McMurray, Brandon Ishkanian, and Vic Aldrich. This all going on about 5 seconds behind race leader Connor Baldwin. Oh, we've got a car hard into the inside wall. Not sure who that was. Didn't even see the off-track pop up, but this battle has settled down and there is no fight for the race lead right now. Oh, that was Matt Wagner getting into the inside wall. His day going from bad to worse as he is on pit lane having to make a stop out of the 17th position. For the drivers that wanted a chance at the championship here, they're getting everything they asked for. Championship standings after last week had Matt Wagner at the top of the board. Eric Schaus was second. Schaus running 14th. He is doing himself no favors as we are down to 1 lap to go. Nick DeGroot not entered in the race tonight. Ty Richter was 4th. James Watson 5th. Looks like Ty Richter could leave with the points lead. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. A race that started bad finishes absolutely perfect. Connor Baldwin gets the win at Atlanta. What a performance for Connor Baldwin. And the big shout out to A.J. Digby. Makes the great strategy call. He's able to put that number 14 machine up into second, taking advantage of a timely caution. Craig Forsyth going to pull that car down to the inside of the racetrack. He's ready to get out of here already. But how about it? Connor Baldwin gets the win. First he poses for the photo. Then we'll see him light him up for the donuts here. Your final race results. Connor Baldwin, A.J. Digby, Craig Forsyth on the podium. J.W. Miller and Ty Richter complete the top 5. T.J. McMurray, Brandon Ishkani, and Vic Aldrich, James Watson, and Joseph Morales, your top 10. 11 to 15 tonight going to Richard Fletcher, Jim Brooks, Eric Schaus, Alexander Ball, and Alec Coates. 16 through 20. Jason Hand, Gary Corley, Colin Johnston, Matt Wagner, Jeff Destino, and Noah Janinda rounding out your field here this evening. We'll see if we can get AJ Digby up here for the interviews as well. Connor Baldwin burning them down here on the front straightaway. All right, let's start our victory lane interviews here tonight with our runner-up finisher, Mr. AJ Digby. Yeah, buddy, how about it? We talked to you a little bit here on some of the other NASCAR side leagues, but man, that was a hell of a strategy call there, bud.
Well, I'd say second place is my position, if it isn't anything else. But wow, great race, awesome to be up on the podium. Did not expect it. Just tried to have as smooth a race as I could. Was a little bit airborne at the very beginning because they're 3 wide and I could not do a thing about it. But was able to get my lap back, get the lap back, and then just play smart. My entire goal, I basically ran in fuel map 3 that entire stint and just tried to save fuel as much as I could, and it allowed me to run a little bit further than everybody else. I knew pit road exit was really tough, so that's where I was expecting the caution to come from. I don't even know where the caution ended up coming from, and I thought for a second I was screwed because I was about 6 feet from pit road entry when the caution came out, so I got a drop to the end. However, because of where everybody was on track, drop to the end really wasn't that far back, and was able to stay out in front. So wish I could have had a little bit of a better restart. Might have been able to hold off Connor, but he's a really fast racer, and I was really worried about the 3rd and 4th place guys behind as well. So looks like they got held up a bit in traffic. But all in all, second place, wow. I'm very happy with that, very pleased, and just, wow, exciting, tiring, kind of not entirely sure how I got here, but the little bit of a fuel save longer run ended up paying off in the end. And we put this 14 TIE Fighter here up on the podium.
Now, one of the questions I got to ask is, did you have one more lap of fuel left? Or were you in a boat where you kind of had to come that time? Because if you had stayed out one more lap, you actually would have trapped everybody at least a lap down.
It was one of those situations where when I was coming, where the lap before I pit, as I was coming up to basically pit road entry, it said 2.0 laps remaining. And it was one of those where I didn't really want to push it and be sputtering on pit road or potentially run out on pit road, but I also didn't want to, I don't know. I just didn't want to push it, and so I was committed to pitting, and the caution came out as it was too late to commit. I mean, I was pretty much 5-6 feet from pit road.
Yeah, you were there.
If that caution comes out 10 seconds sooner, I can stay up on track, put it into map 8, and probably make it around until the pits open. Or if it comes out 10 seconds later, I don't have that penalty, and so can maybe trap a couple extra lap cars behind me and between us. But all in all, I can't complain. I got lucky with how it all worked out for me, and can very much take this second place, hold my head high, and try to move on strong into the next race.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much for joining us here in the booth. Congratulations on the runner-up finish, and let's make sure you get any sponsor plugs and thank yous in before we let you out of here.
Yeah, so no direct sponsors, but got to thank everybody who was watching. I think my grandma was watching. My dad's going to watch it later. It's his first race week at Goodyear Tire in their racing program. So he's down at Martinsville, and so I know he'll watch this later at some point. So got to give a shout out to him and congrats on his new job. And it's exciting for him to be at Martinsville. So dream come true for him. Everybody else who was watching, on the stream who was cheering for everybody else. Thanks for you guys for watching. Make it happen. You guys for the broadcast, as always, fantastic. Can't wait to go back and watch. And everybody in the league for the great racing, and just excited to be a part of it. Been wanting an IndyCar league forever, and finally in it. And then my teammate Richard Fletcher, shout out to him, got an 11th place finish in his first race in the league. So yeah, all in all, a really good day, and just really happy to be here. Had a lot of fun.
All right, AJ, thank you very much. Let's bring in our winner tonight. That seemed confusing, every bit of, well, everything late in this race. But Connor Baldwin, congratulations, picking up a big win in the Aero Info number 21. Baldwin Agriland also on the side of that machine. That was not luck. It wasn't pitch strategy. That car was just damn fast all night long.
It was really fast. Yeah, it just the ability to run in the dirty air made all the difference. I was able to really rip that high side, kind of like Graham Rahal did at Texas Motor Speedway in real life a couple weeks ago, and it gave me the ability to run fast in dirty air and make passes on the high side. I think that really helped me.
It seemed like you figured that out early on, that the high lane was where you were going to have to make the passes. You almost got squeezed up into the fence right at the restart, and then there may have been contact with you and AJ. It looked to us like one of your tires went completely cattywampus. How close were you to binning that thing late in the race?
It's close enough to where I took one of my hands off the wheel because I thought I was done. But we got really lucky, and AJ, he apologized after the race, but it was just good, clean racing. And I absolutely enjoyed it. It was awesome racing with him at the end there for the win.
Looking ahead to the championship standings here, we're only a couple of races in. This has got to be a pretty huge boost in terms of trying to pick yourself up an ESRA IndyCar Series championship.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think that if I can race all of the races this season, then I definitely got something for Matt Wagner, the back-to-back champ in ESRA IndyCar. So, especially on the road course, I think I've been really fast there last season, and in practice for this season, I'm really looking forward to Barber Motorsports Park. So, I'm really excited for what this season has if I'm able to run all the races.
Well, we're looking forward to it for sure, and thank you very much for coming to hang out with us here. And let's make sure you get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in before we let you out of here.
Got to thank Aero Info for sponsoring the car and providing, obviously, the funds to run in this league and to run iRacing. Big shout out to Jeff Destino and Destino Motorsports. That was our first league win as a team officially, so that was just absolutely amazing. Huge thanks to Jeff for bringing me into the team and also help paying for league fees and tracks and stuff. He's been absolutely amazing. He's been huge help. Could not have done it without him. And then also thank my parents and my family for watching and supporting me through this.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in. And final one of the night here. Let's bring in Mr. Craig Forsyth, our third place finisher tonight. I'll tell you what, bud, that last restart, you had your hands full first with Eric. How big of a pucker factor Zulu moment was that, seeing him into the grass and turning back towards the racetrack?
Oh man, I knew I was at such a tire disadvantage to everyone else. So yeah, I was defending for all I was worth, and I was sad to see Eric go because he's a teammate, but also not sad because it meant I no longer had I could look forward instead of backwards. But that was a heck of a race, that's for sure.
And then the lap cars did not make life easy on you either. Jim Brooks gave you a hell of a run there late in that race.
Oh yeah, he had good tires. I was surprised he wasn't able to keep up with Connor and pass him. So no, yeah, at that point my tires were knackered. So I was doing nothing but trying to keep the car going forward and making sure that the distance behind the guys behind me stayed a good distance. Luckily, I ended up with I think it was Eric came back out and ended up there with Jim. So I had a nice buffer there to give me a bit of breathing space to bring her home.
With the issues that some of the other normal names we see at the front tonight, Matt Wagner having big problems, Eric having his issues, it looks like the top five in points could be Ty Richter, you, And then from there, who knows who's going to slot in points? Is it feeling like this could be more of a wide open season than just a 2 or 3 horse race?
Oh, I mean, Matt and Eric have made uncharacteristic. Both of them had their little mistakes tonight, but that they're going to be back and getting podiums and getting wins this season. You can betcha. So it's there's, I mean, you don't count Connor out, and there's a couple other guys in this league that they can start stringing together the podiums and the victories. So it's competitive. I mean, we had I think 20 cars tonight.
Yeah, 21 to be exact, and quite frankly, it is always good to see nice, healthy field sizes like that. So congratulations on the podium finish here tonight, Craig, and let's make sure you get any sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Thanks, Russ. Got a shout out to Jim over at 40 Racewear, and you guys over at NRN, and everyone at the Grid Rivals, and all the guys in ESRA. Yeah, it was a good night, and glad to have come home with the podium. That's for sure.
Yes, that was a well-earned podium. Thank you very much, Craig. We appreciate you spending some time with us here. And man alive, let me tell you, that was a fantastic race tonight for the ESRA IndyCar Series. They'll have some new branding you'll get to see on the screens next week. We're working out some things as well. You got to see it a little bit in qualifications, some side-by-sides and multi-screen views of things. We are really excited to be able to bring you some of that as well. But with that, it is time for us to get the heck on out of here. Coming up at 10:15 tonight, it will be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship live from the streets of Long Beach. Don't want to miss any of that. Real-world racing action this weekend. NASCAR's at Martinsville. IndyCar's out at Long Beach, as is IMSA. Formula One's down under in Australia. Just a fantastic weekend of racing coming up. But with that, we are getting on out of here until 10:15 when we see you again. For everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.